Welcome back to the batch program tutorials. In this one we'll be working on exporting parts. So we got our test assembly here again, and we'll be exporting both sheet metal parts and drawings. In this particular example, I've got my assemblies going to be marked out in green and my parts in black, just so that we can differentiate between the two. And in the export location here, we're going to be exporting all the files to wherever they are stored, and then we're going to tag on drawings and DXF folder, drawings in DXF. That's going to be the location they're stored to. So open up our assembly, let's pull our parts out, and in this case we have, here's 3 that have drawings for them. These 2 green ones are assemblies, and generally when you're exporting a DXF, for example, you're not going to want to include your assemblies. But so we've got the skip assemblies option here, so that will only export. In this case, it'll only be this 1005 that it will export. If we were to run this, I should expect only one DXF of the flat pattern. That's what the 05 is here. It's a flat pattern, and it'll store it in the location of that part and in the subfolder drawings and DXFs. Once we have that, we see our DXF is exported in the parts, drawings, DXFs. Now, if we did want to export these 2 assemblies, we'll have to use the drawings because you can't export a part as a flat pattern. So we'll do the exact same thing, and I'll say uncheck this, skip assemblies, and I will say use drawings. So when you don't have this use drawings checked, it will default to the part if it can, and then the drawings if they exist. If the use drawings, it will see the drawing as preferentially. In a case where you don't have a drawing and the part isn't a flat pattern, such as this 1008, which is this normal part, it will fail to make a DXF. In this case, we should expect 3 DXFs now, 2 assemblies, 1 part, and we're going to use the drawings for all of them. So let's run this same thing again. However, in the structure that I have these parts saved, the locations are not all the same. I have assemblies in their own folder and parts in their own folder. And so when it tags the location onto the assembly location, they're going to be in 2 different places. So here we have the DXF of sheet 1 and sheet 2. The sheet designates that it is not the part, it is pulled off the title block, so it'll include all the information in the sheet itself. This was the assemblies, the 2 assemblies that we exported. This part is going to be in a different location. It'll be under parts and then drawings and DXF. That's where this one got sent to. This was our original one we exported. Now, if you have a structure like this and you want to have all your exports go to the same location, we can change the settings here and use what's called a master folder. And this is the same for all your exports, PDFs, DXFs, and the like. So we check our master folder. This will designate a single folder which you want to have the highest level that contains all your parts. So in my case, I have my parts stored in the J drive, all under the design folder, and here's the many different projects I'm working on. And so I want to use the same settings for all those projects. This will be my master folder. The test assembly that we're currently in is 1 level up from the Fair Design master folder. So we'll use that as the master folder. Our subfolder level is going to be 1, and then our tag location is going to be drawings and DXFs. So this will end up with being the Fair Designs, test assembly, and then drawings and DXF will be our final location, and everything will be stored there. So let's run the exact same thing with the exact same settings. We will uncheck this, use drawings. So now I expect 3 parts all to be made from the drawings and all to be stored in the same location. You will find that creating DXFs from the drawings themselves will take more memory in that it is pulling all the information rather than just a flat pattern. But here we have our three parts now, all in the same location. So you may find that useful depending on how your hierarchy is structured. Hopefully that makes sense. And like I said, if you're doing the same thing with PDFs, it runs the exact same uh, idea with your master folder and sublevel. Otherwise, you can simply put them into the single location for everything or choose every time. I'd mentioned before in the other videos that if you want to have a revision, check this little box. It'll have your tag, your R level. So if we looked at our the drawings that we had just made, let me see if I can find them here. Drawings, DXF. We did tag rev levels on top of each one. So this 05 1001 we do have a rev level, and that will be appended. If you have a rev 2, instead of overwriting your rev 1, you can choose to archive that, so it will put it in the same location but in an archive folder, so you always have a history. The same process works for exporting drawings down here. The difference between these two is this runs primarily off the parts, this runs primarily off the drawings. The same option works with DXF's exporting, skip assemblies. If you want to choose only exporting flat patterns, so if you have a bunch of parts that you don't want exported, as is most likely the case, you can keep that checked. And then same thing, use drawings, will pull the title block and everything if you so choose. But in this case, this will look for the drawing first always, and then it will default to the flat pattern if you've got that unselected. In these ones, it's got the option for PDF as well. Obviously, you can't make a PDF from a solid part, and so that will do the same thing as DXF, but just in PDF form. These will only run from the drawings, and let's give an small example. So our PDFs, we tagged in drawings and PDFs to the location. Let's use a master folder again, just so we have the same location. We'll do the exact same 3, export PDFs. And see what we get. All right, in this case, because we have more than one, we can merge them together into one, which you may find useful, you may not. If you want to delete the individual ones afterward, we'll say yes, just for kicks. So there we have our single part in one PDF. If we open this guy up, we should have 3 pages of parts that we've exported. So I hope you find that useful. Next video, we'll deal with some of the other options in the drawing menu. Until then, stay tuned.